Nice. So I'll have a little bloody shove that up my left nostril, right nostril, a bit of a lick, get it forward in here like this. So just a little dabble. Just a little dabble because I'm going out on my skateboarding a bit. Last time I had about 8 or 9 of these, went out on my skateboard, ended up going underneath a double-decker bus. Rip my thumbnail off. But, hey, last thing before I sign off for this episode 2, before I leave you to it, your bloody crumpets and your cups of bloody tea and your chuffing knitting and all that kind of stuff. Because I know who watches my shows. Old ladies watch my shows. And they are the real, old ladies are the real rock and chuffing rollers. Look like bloody Keith Richards in drag. That's the kind of people I'm wanting to watch me. Old ladies with low rinses. You're welcome. Tattoos on your left bum cheek. You're my kind of people. Right, you will.
Hello, sunshines, sweetie pies. I'm just tagging this little bit on to end the show because I've done most of the show naturally feeling a bit chuffing drained and de-energised by all the immense amounts of chuffing energy that I put into the chuffing programme. I nodded off and I just woke up. And this was like this, and I see my face, because of my position and my body, and the way that my chuffing bonds is sat on top of shoulders, it gives me some kind of indication of what a chuffing look like if I ate too many chuffing donuts. I mean, look at that face. But I like what I chuffing see. This is encouraging me now to buy more cakes, to buy more chuffing chocolate, so I could permanently, not just because of my body positioning on a settee, I could permanently have an head shaped like this. It appeals. It appeals. Let me know in the comments what you think. Should I bang the chuffy weight on and get a robust, slab-like chuffing head like this on a permanent basis? So I don't have to just like spend all my time sat on settee like this. Just let me know what you think. See you later, sweetie pies.
Do you know what this is? It's not a chuffing dustbin lid. This is a steel tongue drum. And now that you've had your few whiskies and you're nice and relaxed, I want you to close your eyes. Make sure you sat down first. Because if you close your eyes and you stood up and you fall over and crack your head, I don't want you so with me. So sit down, lie down, close your chuffing eyes, because I'm going to help you to meditate. Because meditating is good for the mind. Your blood pressure will be down. When I'm finished with this bloody thing here, you will be chilled off your chuffy beavens, mate. So just relax, okay? I wrote this. It's my song. Okay? It's not Bob Dylan. Beer 52. Check it out. Try it. The only thing I'm slightly concerned about with this Beer 52, it's been on my mind. And it keeps on coming back to me. It's, at times, when I think about it, when I allow it to creep into my psychology, it's been stopping me getting to sleep at night. Or I've been waking up in a cold chuffing sweat. Beer 52. What do you think when you hear that? You ever heard of Area 51? Area 52, Area 53? I'm thinking there's a possibility. US government's not going to admit it. There's a possibility that this beer has been nicked from extraterrestrial life forms. Now, look, if you decide as an alien to come to Earth, then you've got to take it for what it is. And there's a lot of chuffing tea leaves. You know what I mean? They nick off of me, they're going to nick off a chuffing ET as well. But if this is alien beer, what I'm concerned about is, what if he gets thirsty? And he realises that his chuffing stash of beer has been plundered, he starts looking for it. I don't want to wake up 3 o'clock in the morning with a great big massive grey skinned, black-eyed, bulbous-headed chuffing alien going berserk at foot of my bed, chuffing, ranting and raving and shouting at me with his great big chuffing head. wanting his chuffing style back. So food for thought. I'm not trying to put you off. I'm not trying to put by it. Get yourself consigned to this, but just be one. If you wake up in the middle at night and there's a chuffing lizard there looking for his chuffing blonde IPA, just be chuffing one. Now, and then bloody thinking to more recent times, Boris Johnson. Again, my mate from work, the Navy guy who liked Thatcher, he's a big fan of Boris Johnson. And I said, what do you like him for? What is it about him that you're gravitating towards this guy for? What would you like about him? He says, oh, he's a bit of a laugh. I couldn't give a shite. If he never tells any... I'm not bothered about my politicians being chuffing Eddie Izzard or bloody Tommy Cooper. I'm bothered about making good political decisions for the betterment of your working man. It doesn't have to be just your working man. Everybody can benefit if it's done correctly, but it's all going to one place, and the working man is just being shafted hand over fist again and time and chuff and Mario. Don't care if he's good at bloody punchlines. Couldn't give a chuffing rat's ass. I'm bothered if he's good at... But before we sign off, now that I'm basically nearly 50 years old, and I was at work the other day, and this young lad, he asked me, just come up to me, and he just out of the blue, he said, if you could give me one piece of advice, what would it be? I said, drink more whiskey. I said, but that aside, I've got another piece of advice for you. I said, learn to bounce. He says, what are you on about? I said, learn to bounce. He says, well, I can chuff in basketball. I said, no, I don't mean like a basketball. And when I say learn to bounce, I don't mean throw yourself out of the 56th floor of a skyscraper, because you won't bounce. You'll just go splat. It'll be chuffing game over. But I'd come to your funeral because you're a nice kid. You're a nice kid, I like you. But I said, learn to bounce, because in your life, there's going to be times when you're up here and there's going to be times when you're down there. But don't be a bottom dweller. You're not one of those weird prehistoric sharks that's constantly flashing around on chuffing seabed. Bounce. If you go all the way, if you ascend all the way to the top, there's only one way you're going. That's back down. You don't stay on the top floating. You do sink. Sometimes you sink like a chuffing brick. But when you hit the seabed, bounce. Don't dwell. Life's too short. Enjoy it. You might only get one. I don't know. You could be reincarnated. You could go to heaven. You could go to bloody purgatory. Who knows? But as far as we know, 100%, you might only get one, or 99%. So enjoy it. So, but yeah, look at that little dabble, because I'm going out my Segway later. Last time I heard about 8 of these, went out my Segway, bloody crashed into the back of a bloody milk float. Up the old chuffing. Left nostril, right nostril, left ear, right ear, jawbone, left nipple, right nipple, belly button. Hey! Well, I'll be bloody devouring it, mate. Don't you worry about that. I like these lugs on it. They're nice. You carry it. I like it. Look very rock and roll. You know, you look a bit like chuffing Ronnie Wood or something like that. Or Ronnie Hart at Stelms. Bloody Ozzy Osbourne or something. Yeah, I'd be sniffing it when you're on there. was routine. Do you know, people ask me, why do you do the left nostril, the right nostril, the left this, left that, down back testicles and all that kind of stuff? Have you ever seen Rafa Nadal play tennis? No, call it superstition, call it just getting yourself in the correct headspace to receive a Pete Sampras serve. That's what I'm doing here. Nadal, just when Nadal's about to serve, he bounces it about 6,000 flaming times. One time he was bouncing the ball. Nadal was bouncing the ball so many times, he was going to go to serve it, and umpire said, "Whoa, stop. Let's play up beside it." He'd fallen asleep. He'd had a late night, he'd been out on chuffing booze, he'd been out chuffing cracking, on roast coffee cracking. He nodded off on up beside it chuffing net. It happens. And the moral of this story is be careful how many times you bounce your balls. Be careful with him, you can hurt them. You can end up in hospital. It's happened to me. Connecting cities, oat stout, 3.9%. Next, nostalgia. Look at it, chuffing out for almost like bloody Diego Maradona, it look. Bloody hell. And will probably come out, and the God will probably come out, chuffing Nick, you can't be here. Tonight, if you're in Bawtry, chuffing, batten down the hatches, lock up your chuffing daughters, because me and my brother's got my oldest mate chuffing Stewart's coming out. Forget that bit about daughters, because my chuffing wife would kill me. Charlotte, she'd flay the skin clean off my chuffing torso, put it in a chuffing casserole, serve it up with chuffing new potatoes. She doesn't chuffing mess about. She caught me once looking at a chuffing female duck as it was waggling its little chuffing feathery ass. She weren't happy. She weren't happy. I'd got no dinners for a month. I was eating gruel. Gruel! Beans on toast, that was it. Sometimes there were no beans and sometimes there were no toast. So I was just staring at an empty chuffing plate. You don't mess about with chuffing Charlotte. I forgot bloody first note. Peace, brothers. Peace.